You are so far away. And the main reason for that is because I have 78 books. I don't know how this happened. But yeah, hi, hello, welcome to yet another video of mine. So yeah, my second book haul of the year 2025, and I somehow end up with almost 80 books. In my defense, it's been 3 months and 2 trips to the capital of Iceland, Reykjavik, and a few sales on Waterstones, but this is a lot. This is a lot. Let's just get into it. Actually, I'm gonna bring you closer so I can show you the books proper. I feel better about that. Yeah, this is better. This feels more comfortable. So I'm actually gonna show you the one book that I didn't buy myself. This one was gifted to me secondhand. This is the Dark Elf Trilogy Collector's Edition by R.A. Salvatore. It's wonderfully beaten up. You know how secondhand books tell a story more than just the story within? There is definitely a story here. Next up, these two books are actually quite literally inspired by Gavin from Gavin Reads It All, because I was his several times. I watched his vlog where he goes to Egypt and he reads a classic and a fairly recent one. I can't remember when this one came out. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But it was Richard Marsh's The Beetle. And like a lot of people, I really want to get more into the classics, and English classics are, I think this one is English. Anyway, English classics are definitely interesting. Like this one it's a thrilling horror novel of mesmerism, murder, and shape-shifting terror. And it takes place in Egypt. And I'm like Egypt mania in the UK, United Kingdom. Especially the earlier part of last century. Just reading into that is so interesting. It's definitely a word to choose here. And the other one that Gavin and the entire group, I believe, was reading during that trip was Isabel Ibanez's What the River Knows. And I believe this is a duology, and the second book is, I think, is out in a hardback, but I prefer collecting in paperbacks. And this is about, well, this is also the earlier part of last century, I believe. The main character is Inés Oliviera. She's from Buenos Aires. And from what I gather, she is living with family. She's not living with her parents because her parents are on globe-trotting adventures. Then she gets news that her parents have passed away in the deserts of Egypt in mysterious circumstances, so she basically runs away to find out what happened. And shenanigans, I believe. Most of these come from Waterstones, mainly because I live in Iceland, and buying from books in English from Britain, well, it's way quicker and is way cheaper basically than from America. So that's the main reason. Also, Waterstone shipped to Iceland. Actually, Barnes & Noble's also shipped to Iceland, and they do have a very good service. Anyway, most of these are from Waterstones. A handful does come from Amazon, and that's because I couldn't find these in the UK. And these, I'm trying to remember, at least The Har by David Sutherland. This is about an old Scottish lady who is not about to give up her home to this overseas property developer, like Hugo, who wants to buy up the entirety of her island and just evict everyone and build up this in the name of progress. Like, that is not temporary, property developers. Bane of existence. But what happens is that this mysterious fog comes rolling in, the Har. And with the fog, apparently there is a creature. I'm like, first off, I love the fog. It's currently foggy where I am. An old Scottish lady, yes. A fog monster, yes. And the slight possibility that the main victim is going to be a an overseas property developer, sign me up. And I do know that Gavin Richardall has read this. But I also got Gus Moreno's This Thing Between Us, and I can't remember who I saw who read it. This is about technology and grief. This might be I hope this is sort of like a quiet terror. It's like a startling, darkly funny horror novel about grief and rage, the loneliness of living between cultures, and the all too real oppressive intimacy of technology. But I can't remember who recommended it, but I do remember that someone did. And last of the books that I got from Amazon US this time is Nathan Auerbach's Pen Pal. So this is about a man who is trying to make sense of his own strange, mysterious, and unsettling childhood memories. It says here on the back, each chapter completes a different piece of the puzzle for both you and the narrator, and by the end of it all, you will wish that you could forget what he never knew. I might need to read those books in the full daylight of the Arctic summer. No, I lied. I am such a liar. I am a dirty liar. So I did buy more books from Amazon. The difference is that those 3 came from Amazon UK and they shipped within a week. Within a week they were in my hands. These I bought from Amazon US. And these took over a month. Yeah. That's coming back to me. I can't remember. Someone mentioned this one. These are all by Delilah S. Dawson and Kevin Hearn. Someone mentioned Kill the Farm Boy. We're gonna need a bigger goat. Someone mentioned it, and I can't remember who it was. I try to do my best to write all this down whenever someone mentions an interesting book so I can mention them, but I forgot about it. As far as I know, this is basically funny fantasy. I'm expecting some absurdity. I'm expecting things being like they are. Someone here on the front is comparing this to Monty Python and Terry Pratchett's Discworld. So I'm like, those are some pretty big shoes to fill. You might be promising a little too much, but I am intrigued by the title because fancy tropes. This is, I believe, the first book, Kill the Farm Boy. But I also got The Princess Beard. This princess can shave herself. And the third one, No Country for Old Gnomes, Go Big or Go Gnome. Hopefully they're funny. C.G. Drew's Don't Let the Forest In. That, I believe it was Emily Fox who really brought this to my attention. And Jan Agaton. Jan Agaton has a video, an entire video just about this one, and I haven't watched that one because I want to read this first before I watch that video. And yeah, so basically this is about a boy in a boarding school who writes stories for another boy, and then there are monsters. I don't know. I just know that I really want to read this one. Look, the cover is so cool too. That is such a cool cover. And these are a little bit of a shame within quotation marks because a lot of people like these and a lot of people really love to look down on it. So I have the knee-jerk reaction of meh. And I probably, at some point, I probably said that I was going to read it and I'm like, well, first off, I bought these from the UK. They were paperback and they were on sale. And I'm like, if I'm ever gonna read them, then now is basically a chance. It's Rebecca Yarrow's Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. So I'm just waiting for Onyx Storm to come out in paperback as well. And I'll have the entire trilogy. I am currently in the phase of collecting trilogies and duologies and then get into reading them because I hate having to wait for like years and years sometimes just to complete reading a series. I'm tired of it. So I buy the books buy them timely so, the publishers know that they are selling, and then I read them. And if I don't like them, then my local charity shop gets a lot to eat. Oh yeah, these. So I have a very, very faint. These might become a separate, like a vlog, hopefully this year. I have a very, very faint idea of a theme. Basically the name. We'll see how that goes. I got Laline Paul's The Bees, and this is basically, I feel like a thriller story from the perspective of a bee. Don't tell me that doesn't sound interesting. And then the other ones I think are more human based. Got Iron Banks, The Wasp Factory, which I think is about basically a serial killer kid at the point of the very takeoff, I believe. He's 16. And on the back he's like, yeah, he killed this person, that person, 3. Before he reaches the age of 16, he's killed 3 kids, including his brother. Completely different is Jean-Dominique Bobby, The Diving Bell and the Butterfly, and this is a story written by a man who suffered a stroke, completely paralyzed, and on top of that he suffers from locked-in syndrome. But he can lift he can move his left eyelid, which is how he managed to dictate this book, and it came out 2 days after this book was published. To and Joe, Harley Quinn Butterfly. This is about a guy chasing a writer. Wait, why is he chasing him? Yeah, so the writer, he seems to have the ability to write expertly in the language of any place they go. And for some reason this entrepreneur is chasing down this elusive writer. I'm like, okay. I mean, the writer sounds very interesting. Like, if he can write in any language that in the place where he goes, that's very interesting. But at the same time, why is someone chasing him down? And then Dot Hutchinson, The Butterfly Garden. Another, I believe, a thriller. Beauty has no look so terrifying. So there's this guy called the gardener with a garden with his butterflies, who are kidnapped young women, intricately tattooed to resemble their namesakes. So the FBI goes in to investigate, and one of the victims is a person telling them what has been happening, and then they're like, well, what really has been going on? Then I also got Bill Wood's Let's Split Up. Famous last words with a killer on the loose. And this one, I also have another tentative idea for another video that I might want to do. When hot it couple Brad and Shelley are brutally murdered in a manor on the edge of town, a group of friends investigates. So maybe a little bit more lighthearted, but still murderously funny, I don't know. Is Alexia Casal's The Best Way to Bury Your Husband. What I have gathered is that there are 4 wives in the same town who all accidentally kill their husbands and team up to dispose of the bodies. Shenanigans ensue. How do you accidentally kill someone? Like, I can understand if... Yeah, anyway. So this might be a light summer read, which actually does tie into another one. I've been waiting for this one since last year when I read the first book by last year's book by Catherine Mack, and that book was an absolute delight last summer. It was so much fun to read it, so I've been waiting for this one. No one was supposed to die at this wedding. This one literally just arrived. It arrived recently. The first book was called Every Time I Go on Vacation Someone Dies. So I've been waiting for this one ever since I read the excerpt, the back of last year's book. So basically, the main character from the first book is attending a friend's wedding, and then someone dies. And you may notice that this is a hardback, and that is because this is a pre-order. That's basically the main reason why I buy hardbacks. Otherwise, it's paperbacks all the way. Paperbacks for a win. So let me get some more of the hardbacks that I've gotten. because this was on sale. This was on discount. It's Sarah Lee's Legend of the White Snake. This is based on an Asian folktale, which I think usually the white snake is a woman who repays a favor or debt to someone. And there's a love story and it's tragic usually, so I don't know. I never read the original story. It's a headstrong prince, a hidden identity, a love for ages, and this time it's a male. And the dust jacket is just so pretty. And the main color is such a lovely blue. It's a gorgeous blue. I also, because everyone has been talking about this book, like it's been Gavin, it's been Gabby reads. Who else? Why is my memory so limited? But yeah, it's Matt Dinniman's Dungeon Crawler Carl. I got it. So I think there's been like, what? Ooh, cool. You will not break me. That's really cool. So basically the world has ended. It's been taken over by aliens, and the survivors become contestants in a reality TV that's being broadcast to the entire galaxy or universe, whatever. They have to compete in like a dungeon type of thing. And also he has a cat, Princess Donut, who wants to take over the world. Proper cat. Is this the last of the... No, it's not. This is one of the last horrors that I got this time around. It's Nat Cassidy's Rest Stop. I heard Kayla from Books and Lala talk about this, I think last year. I think. Oh, it has eyeballs. Well, kinda. Not really eyeballs, but like eyes. So yeah, this is about a guy who makes a stop at the rest stop, and things happen there. And it's a horror story, and it's got like plastic eyes and blood on the cover, so I'm like, cozy fancy. I bought these on Waterstones because they were on discount and they looked interesting. And also I had heard the name T. Kingfisher quite a while, often. But I've always heard it in terms of like thriller horror stories, like kind of brutal stories. I had no idea that this person had actually written cozy romance fantasy, like. But also like I fell in love with the covers, like. This one is Paladin's Grace. And also, may I mention, shortly after that I got these books, Carly Can Read mentions them. And she bought the first book as well. And I'm like, yeah. So, Paladin's Grace, Paladin's Hope. I believe this one is male. Paladin's Grace. She looks wonderful. And then Paladin's Faith. And these are all like romantic, fancy, and the male interests are all paladins of a dead god. I mean, what do you do when your god has died? Mary Brennan's A Natural History of Dragons, a memoir by Lady Trent. This one I picked up. I picked this one up because A, it has dragons, and also it's kind of like a soft, cozy, fancy type of vibes that I get from this. And it also has the word memoir. I did pick this out for Kayla's Buzzwordathon challenge. Guess who just released a vlog of her reading dragon books, including this one. And yeah, she's not very much she's not a dragon type of person. I am very much a dragon person, so hopefully this one is gonna hit better for me than it hit for her. I think she gave this like about 3 stars. Like, how cool is this creature? Like, I'm sorry, that's cool. So hopefully this one is gonna work better for me than it did for her. Speaking of another dragon book that she read, and I'm like, okay. That is A.T. Cressey's The Baby Dragon Cafe, which is basically about this person who... Oh yeah, this one. This is a memoir of a woman's long life and her insane interest in dragons. Enough said. This one is about a woman who runs a baby dragon cafe, and a guy that I think she falls in love with. I have been very interested in this one because cozy fancy, but apparently a lot of people like are very interested, and then interest just tanks because the story doesn't like quite hold itself up. But I got it, I'm gonna read it. Sonoko Mashida's The Convenience Store by the Sea. This is a cozy story about, well, human connection. So there is this convenience store called Tenderness, and the manager apparently has a fan club of his own. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like Gavin has read this. Yeah. I'm pretty certain that Gavin read this in a really recent vlog. Another cozy. This is the 4th book of Laurie Gilmore's The Strawberry Patch Pancake House. This was a pre-order. I do have the other 4, like the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, the Cinnamon Bun Store, the Christmas Tree Farm. Oh yeah, I also pre-ordered the Gingerbread Bakery. So it's a world-renowned chef who's also a single dad, moves to a small town, run a pancake house, needs a live-in nanny to help raise his daughter, and that's where the female lead comes in, and romantic shenanigans. So these are, because I quite accidentally last year bought the hardcover of the 2nd book in a series, of which I already had the 1st book, but in paperback, and I think I bought this from Barnes & Noble because, judging from the cover and the texture of it, Rebecca Thorne's Can't Spell Treason Without T. First off, I was caught by the cover, basically, and the title. When you're gonna mention tea, and you got books on the cover, I'm gonna fall for it. But then I accidentally bought the 2nd book in the series, Pirate's Life for Tea, I think it is. Yeah, A Pirate's Life for Tea. So, long story short, I got the 1st book as well, Can't Spell Treason Without T. These are by Rebecca Thorne. Just love the look of them. Inside, just that lovely red color. The 2nd book is blue. I also got the 3rd book, Tea at the Altar, and these are cozy fancy. About a, let's see, it's a high mage serving a queen and a bodyguard, and then they decide, you know what, we want to live our own life and run our own small business of bookstore, tea shop. The 4th book is coming out this year, and that is also a pre-order because why not? Contemporary, I believe. This is Chris Whittaker's All the Color of the Dark. I've heard people talk about this. I feel like it was Emily Fox. So this is a coming-of-age tale, an epic love story, and a searing thriller, all unfolding on a vast canvas. Really not sure what this is about, just that there are childhood friends who are reconnecting. Something terrible happens, I believe. Yeah, some tragedy and thriller. I think this is the one actual science fiction that I bought. It's Grace Curtis's Floating Hotel. That is all about this spaceship that is a hotel, and no one really knows who's flying the ship. So there are questions here on the back. Why are there love poems in a lobby in tray? How many Imperial spies are currently on board? What is the true purpose of the Problem Solvers Conference? And perhaps most importantly, who is driving the ship? Now this is Kate Watson's 7 Lively Suspects, a cold case in high summer. This is, I believe, the 3rd of the 3 Dahlias mystery series. The 3 Dahlias are, well, that's not their names are not Dahlia, but they are, in the 1st book, they are the 3 actors or actresses who played the same character, who was an amateur sleuth. So they have continued their character's legacy. Another sequel. This is the 2nd book in the Library trilogy. Yep, remember that right? That's Mark Lawrence, The Book That Broke the World. And this one, I can definitely Gavin again, feel like Gabby as well. Yeah, so this is Uketsu's Strange Pictures. probably someone else as well, but I can remember Gabby and Gavin. So these are 4 stories that all link together with strange pictures that people draw before they die, except I think in one case. It sounds really interesting. People have been having fun reading it. I'm like, count me in. I want to read this too. And technically speaking, yeah, this is also science fantasy. Science fantasy, yeah? Yeah, science fiction, science fantasy, definitely. Star Wars. I got Cass R. Sunstains, The World According to Star Wars. And this is non-fiction. It's basically about the impact that Star Wars has had, like on the depiction of fatherhood. Lessons of Star Wars as it relates to childhood fathers, the dark side, rebellion and redemption, along with constitutional law, economics and political uprisings. It has a lot to say. Like, if you are maybe a little bit of a Star Wars geek or nerd, not saying that I am, but I would recommend this one. I would also recommend these 2. So this is Star Wars Book of Lists. Can't remember the author's name. It's on Goodreads. Cole Horton. Yes. And this one is a lot of fun. Literally, just a book of Star Wars lists. Like, geekery, yes. And the other one is Star Wars 100 Objects by Kristen Baber. And this one is just as gorgeous. Like Darth Vader's Meditations Chamber, Staff of Power, Wookiee Clarion. Love this book. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, should I move on to non-fiction? That is the question. Because I do have a stack of books that I bought from Nexus. Now, Nexus is a wonderful, wonderful store in the capital of Iceland, in Reykjavik. And it is a heaven for bibliophiles. They also do a lot of like D&D collectibles, anything you name it. If you do happen to go to Iceland and you go to Reykjavik, I would recommend going to Nexus. You would not be disappointed. Like, I got Joe Hedwig Jewish Fake History, 101 Things That Never Happened. Like, the things that you think that we know about history didn't happen. Aaron Mankey's The World of Lore, Dreadful Places. This is a collection of haunted places in the UK and US. Yeah? Yes. England and United States. Haunted places. Kinda inspired by Gavin. Not gonna lie, by the time I bought these 5 books, I bought 5 books in May. And this one I had just watched one of. Basically, did a watching marathon of Gavin's haunted vlogs. Do that on regular. Simon Jimenez, The Spear Cuts Through Water. This is a fantasy, I believe. Yeah, it's called like a Moon Throne. I'm not really sure what this is about. It's got triplet terrors. It's about gods. Yeah, it's about a god that's locked under a royal palace. I don't know. It's interesting. And this one I've actually been watching for years. This is Shelley Parker Chowne's She Who Became the Sun. So this is China under Mongol rule, about a girl who has to pretend to be her dead brother in order to basically survive and be something. This one I saw on a table, I remember, and I just fell in love with it. Like The Scorpion Queen by Mina Fierce. On the back it says 99 Deadly Trials, A Growing Rebellion, a choice that will change everything. And look at that, it's so gorgeous. I literally picked this one up because it has Scorpion. It's got like camels on the front, but also it fulfills the buzzwordathon and the cover challenge at the same time, like for animal. It's about a princess and a servant girl, I believe, and I don't know. Now, I also, at the beginning of May, I went to back to Reykjavik because of a minor surgery that I had to have, and picked up 4 more books. First one, biggest, Sarah Rees Brennan's Long Live Evil. Literally picked it up because of the title. It's basically about this girl who is reborn as the evil villainess of a story, and her determination to survive. Aidan Thomas, Lost in the Neverwoods. This is, I am absolutely certain, a Peter Pan retelling. Which is why I bought it. This one I've heard so many people talk about. Julie Leon's The Teller of Small Fortunes. Cozy, comfy, I believe, I think. This one, Kirsty Logan's Things We Say in the Dark, I picked up because it mentions Iceland on the back. This is, I think, a collection of short stories. And the cashier who helped me out, she actually met the author. Like, the author has been staying in Iceland a couple of times, I believe. Okay, and on to the non-fiction books. I think I need to charge the camera a little bit. I charged the battery, and I just watched Alexandra Roslin's new Bookhaul. I'm like, well, she knows how to make them. So, I only have 2 stacks left. That would be non-fiction and manga. Non-fiction. Susan Maxaman and Ivy Ross, Your Brain on Art and How the Arts Transform Us. Because I really like art. I like reading about art, and this I feel might be very interesting. Because it's literally like, it's the author's compelling research that shows how engaging in an art project for as little as 45 minutes reduces the stress hormone cortisol, and just one art experience per month can extend your life by 10 years. This can be anything from painting and dancing to expressive writing, architecture and more, no matter your skill level. So doing art, looking at art, enjoying art expands your life. Yeah, I believe that. These 3 books by Sean Bythell. I got because I saw an interview on Iceland television with the author, and I'm like, look up the books on Wordstones. I'm like, I want to read them because he's a bookseller. I got 3 of his books. That is 7 Kinds of People You Find in Bookshops. I already read it. It's very interesting. Then I got Remainders of the Day and Confessions of a Bookseller. And this is a pretty good likeness of the author. I don't remember anything. Let's go. I did get 2 cookbooks. Now I say cookbooks with very big quotation marks because these are both smoothies and juices. So not very interesting. It's just just the time of year that I would like to get some more vitamins and proteins and quick fixes when I'm hungry but I don't feel like eating. So smoothies and juices to the rescue. You know, this is kind of like all over the place, but I got a book by Martha Schwales, Give It a Grow, that is about growing plants, herbs. This one is Sarah Davies, the 6-Minute Entrepreneur, 52 short lessons for long-term business success. She recommends reading a chapter a week. I'm not doing that. I'm reading when I remember to. And full disclosure, I thought this was more like, it's more from the roots up, like more from building from absolute nothing and up. This book very much assumes that you're already working in the field that you're interested in. So it's not really about breaking into a field, like not, at least not so far. So this so far isn't quite the book that I thought it was, but this one also arrived very recently. This is Gabriel Zuchtriegel. I have no idea. The Buried City, Unearthing the Real Pompeii. Here is the author's name. I absolutely butchered that. So yes, this is about Pompeii with a donkey in front. I got David Attenborough's Ocean, Earth's Last Wilderness, actually by Colin Butfield. Yeah, this is about the oceans. Like, what more can you say? Like sea otters, filming the blue whale, Gulf of California. Yeah, cannot wait to read this one. Emily Hauser, Mythica. So chunky, that book. So this is a new history of Homer's world through the woman written out of it. Because there has been a lot of fair discussion about the interpretation of Homer's writings, where the academics who have been translating the stories have been picking and choosing how to translate the stories, and have basically written out the woman in the stories because they did. It's got some pretty pictures. Oh, I love books that have pretty pictures. Just speaking of pretty pictures, this is Travis Elborough's The Writer's Journey, Volume 1, and The Artist's Journey, Volume 1. So these two are, like it says on the cover, this is about the travels that writers, famous authors, have taken throughout the years, and whether or not the possibility of the travels having an influence on their writing. Same with here, with famous artists, whether their travels have influenced their art. And here we got Jane Austen, Jack Kerouac, Graham Greene, Arthur Conan Doyle, Mary Wollstonecraft, Virginia Woolf, Bram Stoker, Graham Greene. And let's see, artists, we've got Claude Monet, Gustav Klimt, Paul Cézanne, Salvador Dali, Georgia O'Keeffe, Marianne North, Osamu Noguchi. Oh, didn't I see? Yeah, there's Frida Kahlo and Tove Jansson, Vasily Kandinsky. You know, this is the type of things that I find interesting. And then last, but not least, so I got volume 24 and 25 of Jujutsu Kaisen. I am going to be pre-ordering volume 26. I think that's going to be out in July. Whenever I Google how many volumes there are going to be in Jujutsu Kaisen, the number 30 always comes up. So that means that we should be hopefully getting the last volumes of Jujutsu Kaisen beginning of next year, I think. So if you get like 26, maybe 27 now. So it's going to be 28, 29, 30. So we'll see. And then I got the first 12 volumes of Hunter x Hunter, which I am so happy about because I first read Hunter x Hunter early 2000s and never collected the volumes myself. And now I'm like, you know what? I would like to do that. Because Hunter x Hunter has a very special place in my heart. In particular because I know of the authors, the mangakas, long-standing chronic illness. I don't know what illness he has, but I do know that it has been debilitating and it has seriously affected his work and his life. For me, as a complete outsider, seeing the effect that it has on his artwork and how his artwork bears witness to his illness, that to me is very striking. It is thought-provoking and it's very... The word influential is somehow knocking on my door, and I'm like, just the fact that this man has managed to make something in the past like 20 years with a chronic illness is just... So yeah, that is the next series that I will be collecting, because I want to. So yeah, those are the 78 books that I got this time around. I don't expect to film any other book hauls until I think around August time. I do have some pre-orders that will be dropping by in the upcoming months. But my pattern in book buying is usually that in the beginning of the year I get very, very excited about buying books, and then in the later part I'm more like reading them. That's been pretty much my, my pattern. So I cannot expect that to be the same now. So otherwise, thank you very much for watching. I will hopefully see you again in some other video of mine. Until then, take care. Bless, bless.